from Impact Strength Performance. Now last week we put out a video and we spoke about the 5 laws, the 5 principles of optimal nutrition. Now we got a lot of questions come back from people about different aspects of what we spoke about. So what we wanted to do is just break down each of those points into a little bit more detail and maybe answer some of those questions in the process. So just to cover over those 5 questions really quickly, and then I'll break it down each point in a little bit more detail. So basically what we said, good nutrition can be defined by controlling energy balance, eating enough nutrient-dense foods to support your health, body composition and performance goals. Good nutrition has also got to be honest and outcome-based, and then it's got to be sustainable for you. And again, what's sustainable for you and another person is going to be totally different. So when it comes to nutrition, basically, I suppose out there on the internet, there's all these diets flying around. People can be very confused about which one works and which one doesn't work. We've all got a friend who followed such and such a diet and lost loads of weight. But the thing to, I suppose, understand is really that it all boils down to one thing, and it's probably that energy balance side of the equation. So whether it's a paleo diet, whether it's the South Beach diet, each one of those is going to try and control calories going into the system. So we think about it like this. This pie chart represents how many calories somebody's going to consume on a day-to-day basis. So that's basically going to be broken down into proteins, carbohydrates and fats. So if you take something like a paleo diet, for example, it's going to be higher in protein and higher in fats, and it's usually going to be a little lower on the side of carbohydrates. As a result, the net calories consumed in a day is going to be slightly less than if you were to have proteins, fats and carbs all into one meal. So basically it's controlling that energy balance by reducing or eliminating carbohydrates. Now you might look at another diet and what it'll do is it'll keep carbohydrates high and maybe proteins high and eliminate fats. But either way, energy is being controlled going in and out of the system. So when we speak about energy balance, it basically comes down to this. We already spoke about it, but it's carbohydrates, proteins and fats consumed as food. Now you've got to remember, you've got to take into account what you drink as well. So if you're drinking beer on the weekends or you're having a can of Coke each day, that's going to contribute basically carbohydrates into this energy balance equation. So there's calories coming in on one side and then there's calories leaving the body on the other side. And that's going to come down to resting metabolic rate, physical activity and then the thermic effect of feeding. And when we speak about the thermic effect of feeding, you've got to understand that some foods will take more calories to break down and consume. So let's say fibrous vegetables and protein will take more calories to break down and consume than something like processed sugar. So when we're looking at this equation, we can be in a balanced state where we're not gaining weight and we're not losing weight. And again, most people that come into the gym are not really going to be in this state. They're going to be in one or two of the other states. So it's the weight gain state. Basically, there's more coming into the system than what's leaving the system. So if you want to try and balance this up, we've got to cut down ever so slightly on the calories coming in and then increase the expenditure on the other side. So that's where you come into the gym, get a program and start working out to increase this expenditure on this side of the equation. On the other side, you might have a situation where somebody is at a weight that they don't want to be on. They actually want to put on weight. So whether it's a man or a woman, usually what's happening is they're not eating enough food and potentially training too much. And as a result, they're losing weight. And very often, you'll see that people are going to lose lean muscle mass and they become sort of skinny fat, for want of a better expression. And that's obviously, we don't want to be there either. So moving on. All that being said, how do we put that together? What we need to do is think about habits and daily activities that we can put into place in order to make the previous stuff into fruition or come together. So the first thing that we'll try and do with everybody is look at, are we eating breakfast, lunch and dinner? So it's just 3 square meals a day. Most people that come into us in the gym don't have any breakfast. Maybe they're rushing at lunchtime, so they grab like a can of Coke and a sandwich or a bar or something like that. And by the time they get home, they're absolutely starving, and usually the food choice they make them for dinner aren't the best. So we want to try and make sure that someone's having 3 meals a day, and that's habit number 1. After that then, we're going to look and say, is this person consuming any water to start off with? But what we'll try and push towards is at least 2 or 3 litres of water a day. And again, it's going to be dependent on somebody's size, their activity levels, but around 2 or 3 litres of water a day. Once we have those first 2 habits nailed down, the next thing that we're going to look at is going to be lean protein and vegetables. And are we having lean protein and vegetables at each of those 3 meals? If we have that ticked off, the next thing we want to look at is carbohydrates and fats. And are we having a good blend of carbohydrates and fats within the diet? And again, sometimes people talk about superfoods. Some people are in the fats are good camp. fats are bad camp, carbohydrates are good, carbohydrates are bad. It's not that any of these things are good or bad, is it going to support your health, performance, and I suppose lifestyle goals? Is it good for you? So it's more of an individual thing. So once we have all those things, so we're drinking enough water, we're having 3 meals a day, we've got protein at each meal, we've got veg at each meal, we've got the right balance of carbs, we've got the right balance of fats. The next thing that we're going to look at is actual portion control. So if somebody is looking to put on weight, the portions are going to be a little bit bigger. If somebody's looking to lose weight, the portions are going to be a little bit smaller. And for each person, it's going to be slightly different. So we've got a portion control guide here, and guys, you can download that. Just click into the notes below, and you can download this for yourself. So once we have portion control right, if you really want to, I suppose, turn the screw and tighten things up another little bit, the next thing that we're going to do is look at calories. And then once we figure out how many calories somebody needs on a daily basis and on a weekly basis, now we can break that calories down into how much protein you need, how many carbs you need, and how many, what type of fats you need. And again, it's going to be for your activities and whatever, I suppose, is sustainable for you as an individual. So guys, looking at this, a lot of people will go straight into how many calories do I need and what macros should that be broke down into, and they forget, minimum 3 meals a day. Obviously, if you're training a lot, if you're looking to put on muscle, if you're looking to run a marathon, 3 meals a day isn't going to cut it. But for the average person who's working a 9 to 5, they may be training 2 or 3 hours a week, they can get by on 3 meals a day. After that, do we have 2 to 3 litres of water? Then it's, are we consuming enough protein and veg? Are we consuming carbs and fats in the right ratio? Then what's our portion control looking like? And once we have all this right, the next thing that we're going to look at is going to be the calories and the macros. Now again, all of this, is kind of held up by one of the most important things about all this is the environment that you, I suppose, surround yourself in. So that's your gym environment, your work environment, and your home environment. All this can come tumbling down if it's not being consumed in the right environment. So again, we used this analogy in the last slide, but if you didn't see it, we'll go through it again. So if you take these 3 things, so we've got ice cubes, a goldfish, and coffee. If we put these into hot water, we're going to get a different result, even though it's the exact same environment. So take ice cubes, throw them into water, it's going to cool the water down, the ice cubes are going to melt, they're going to be destroyed. Take a goldfish, drop it into water, we're going to have a sad goldfish. Then take coffee beans, blend them up, put them into the water, you've got lovely coffee. Again guys, the environment was the exact same, but what happens when things go into the environment is going to be slightly different. So if you're in a situation where you're in work, people are trying to give you biscuits, people are trying to give you cakes and that type of stuff, you got to kind of take yourself out of that environment and be strong enough to say, I don't want that type of stuff, especially if it's a weight loss goal that you've got in your hands. Now, if all that seems a little bit confusing, the most, I suppose, important thing to do that we could say to someone is seek out a coach, whether it's us or whether it's someone else. You need a super coach there to kind of hold your hand and help you through this process. So guys, if we can help in any way, just shoot us a mail and we'll get back to you straight away. Thanks, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.